Welcome to this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, sharing in this now moment with myself and with one another. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back. If you have, my intention is unity and oneness. I want to go into a little flow with the guides and also just kind of share the last video that I did, or right around this video, had some tools I find helpful for some of the physical things that some of us are going through. I just hit the tip of the iceberg on that video, but at the end of the video, I gave some just little things, little resources that I use that I find helpful. And the reason I'm sharing this now, I'm going to be doing this more frequently because I feel like a lot of people are going through physical symptoms again. Not again. Some people, this has been ongoing, but I've been having a lot of reports back to me of electricity, nerve sensitivity, feverish symptoms, feeling like we're going through some sort of hormonal something when in actuality our hormones might be fine. Um, Trouble sleeping, the jitters, nervous energy. And then in addition to that, some other things like maybe more serious things. So it depends on the person, but I'm being called to talk a little bit about these things because I've been there, done that. I still am there and do that. I have symptoms that come up. I have a tendency to be a very electrical human being. And so if there's a lot of weather changes going on or earth changes going on, I can be very affected by it. I'm very affected by solar flares. Not everybody is, but my guides keep reminding me. And so I'm going to remind you guys, whoever's watching this, that our body is going through a number of changes, just like the earth is going through a number of changes. And whatever we can do to support ourselves is highly encouraged right now to make this transition, is what they're calling it, easier. It's like we're transitioning from one form into another form without really seeing a big difference, but we're feeling different. We're just feeling like we're not the same person we were 6 months ago, let alone 6 years ago. So I'll be doing more and more of those videos. And then I'm going to go into a little flow with the guides. So first thing I'm going to invite you to do is just, now I'm going to go into flow with the guides, is just to drop into your bodies and notice what you're feeling right now. Notice if you're feeling tense. Are you feeling anxious? Are you feeling relaxed? And it's just observing it sometimes is the key, right? That's the important thing, is recognizing and acknowledging raw what you are experiencing. Um, and you don't have to label it and say, I am feeling fearful. But if you happen to recognize that, in addition to the feeling of anxiety, recognize that it's coming from a place of fear, you can then integrate it easier sometimes and say, wow, what am I afraid of? Okay, I'm going to clear that out from my system. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go drink a big glass of water with electrolytes in it or whatever it might be. I tend to get a little shakier. Sometimes if you have lower blood pressure, you might be more affected by needing more electrolytes, just to kind of share. And again, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. This is just my own personal experience, what I've noticed in my own body that's worked for me. All right. I don't know if the channeling is going to be physical necessarily about physical symptoms, but I'm just going to kind of drop in and see what the guides have to share right now. And notice, as we share this message, notice that the breath is in the exchange. It is as easy as one, two, three. It is as easy as breathing, that we can feel the connection to source. It is easy. It is as easy as, I'm hearing easy is as easy does, or it's kind of like that Forrest Gump, stupid is stupid it does, but it's easy does it. Oh boy, it's going to be one of those channelings. For some of us, we feel as if the floor or the rug has slipped out from underneath us. We feel as if the rug is constantly being pulled out from underneath us. And there are many people who are feeling as if they're walking on something squishy. That's the only way I can describe what they're showing me. We don't realize that we have this continuous access, play on words, access, continuous access. We are continually accessing our connecting counterparts, our connection to our higher selves, our connection to our ascension team, if that's what we wish to call it, the higher dimensional team that we are all part of. For we are all part of something more than what is showing up for us in this current reality. We are all part of something bigger, one might say, than what is being shown on the mainstream. For we are connected to a broader bandwidth and a much broader stream of energy intelligence, they're calling it intelligence, than we have been led to think, we could say, and we could play with that. I'm hearing lead feet, turning lead into gold, what we have allowed ourselves to be guided towards, what we have listened to. And so we would invite you to recognize, just like turning on a light bulb, I'm seeing pulling the string, you can immediately connect in with your higher dimensionality. And it is simple as breathing in and breathing out and being in a place of receptivity, allowing yourself to calm down and tune in, one might say. Not only to tune into what your body is receiving and sending out, to the signals that your body is sending you and therefore sending out, but also the tunes or the tones or the frequencies that you are tuning into. You may do this as an example. Let us say you are driving down the road and you are listening to the radio. And in one moment, the radio sounds interesting. And in the next moment, the radio sounds disturbing or distracting. We feel edgy. And in that moment, most people would turn the radio down or turn the radio off. Oftentimes, we are not paying attention and therefore we are being distracted and feeling edgy, and we leave that background noise continually playing on. And so we are forced to tone down our system to buffer or create a buffer zone between that and what we are feeling. This has become a habit for many people, and we will continue to use the radio example. For if you are busy tuning into a radio program that is sending out signals that are disruptive to the nervous system, you are not able to then equalize your own nervous system to tune into your own radio conductor that allows you to listen and feel into the signal that is being conducted through the frequency of the airwaves that you are breathing in and out of. So you are a constant connective source to source. You are never disconnected, for you cannot be. The moment the source is disconnected, the body turns off. And some argue as to where this connection is created. Is it in the brain? Is it in the heart? Is it through the mind? And we would just invite you to get into your heart, to stop thinking only from the mind, to combine your own frequencies and gifts and combine with that which is your innate divine template and therefore resource. And use this as a resource rather than focusing on the nuts and bolts that we still don't understand. For your questions could be answered, and you still will not have the answer to your question, oftentimes. And so, while knowledge is key and wisdom is power and knowledge is power and all of that, we would invite you to turn the key and open to more than just that. We would invite you to open the door to, again, I hear it, my love, open your door, the door to the heart. And it is not just the power of love that everyone speaks of. It is deeper than that. It is the many meanings of the word love. It is the tone that represents love. And it is through that tone, harmonic, frequency, sound, or wave that you are all part of, connected to, and through. For this love is the thread that binds you. It is that which keeps together the truth. It is the true, I'm hearing true blue. It is the glue that allows you to interact with the higher realms. It is not necessarily sunshine and rainbows. It is a depth. It is an understanding. It is an inner standing of your heart's desire. And we play with this, for it is not necessarily the desire as in what you want, it is what you are. It is something that is innate inside of you. And for those who are in denial of this love or this energy or frequency that is part of them, whether they admit it or not, they are in denial of themselves. And so we would invite you to stop denying yourself and therefore denying each other the truth that you are all part of this glue that holds one another. We would invite you to see that you are the currency that enlightens, enlivens, and lifts up through frequency reality. And the more and more we start to remember this and recognize this, the less and less we wish to divide and conquer, the less and less we wish to hone in on only what the mind has to offer. And we begin to marry and merge and create a true unification. I'm hearing tri-unification, true unification through the heart, through the center of knowingness, of expansion, of grace, and a higher expression. This has nothing to do with a religion per se. Even though religion can say a lot about these things, it is not first. I'm being shown the religion isn't what came first. What is the religion talking about? It's where that came out of. It's just a story or a verse of the entirety of the story. We would invite you to recognize that you are traversing through very abnormal times, it feels like. But the abnormality is the fact that we are denying the true reality, which is overlaid by a false reality, which is I'm seeing milking the very energy that is that they who are creating the false reality are seeking to destroy. For it is playing off the heartstrings. It is playing off the sympathy and empathy that the human naturally feels that catapults those humans into a place of forgetfulness, forgetting that we are all connected. And so we would invite you to redirect your own frequency bandwidth, your own ability to band with one another, and to create community in the most unexpected ways. We would invite you to tune in to the unexpected resources that each of you offers in an unselfish way. We could say this is giving it back or paying it forward. We invite you to think outside of this box or the mechanisms that have painted us into a corner. We would invite us to, from that corner, view all angles and paint our own awareness, paint our own vision, if you will, be our own artist, and artistically combine and therefore contribute more to our reality and the new way of being. And some of us are already doing this, and others are afraid to do this, and some do not know what this is. And that is the way of it. For we are all mishmashed, if you will, mixed into this soup or this bag. It's a mixed bag of currencies, frequencies, and realities, all redistributing energy at multiple conjunction points throughout the day. It is difficult to say to anyone who believes in something what that belief system is lacking in. For until you understand it or until you believe in something else, you cannot verify the truth in something you do not believe in if it is not something you truly feel is part of reality. And so there is a struggle going on with mixed energies and mixed realities and mixed truths. But we would invite you to mix it up. Allow yourself to feel the harmonization underneath all of this and therefore disentangle from the entanglement and the web that is being woven through the perception of misperception or through the false reality. I'm seeing tinsel, like Tinseltown. Like it's not real. It's like I'm seeing it like all the little tinsels on like Christmas. Anyways, we're being called to recall that which is real. And we are being called to recall that which is not. That's a play on words. So we're being called to remember who we really are, what we're real, what we have capability of. And then when you recall something that wasn't like that's expired or spoiled, we're recalling that and pulling it off the shelf. We're inviting all of you to step up and take yourselves off the shelf, one might say, and dust off the old record, if you will, and allow yourself to play and remember the deeper records of knowingness, the inner records. I'm seeing the rings on a tree and the rings on a record and all of the songs and the music, and we invite you to expand out your collection, one might say, dust it off, and recognize that you are creating a brand new record. And this has to do with reality. The record keepers know this to be true. And so we are breaking through, if you will, the false distortions. And while we are doing this simultaneously, we are confused at times by these false distortions. And sometimes during that confusion and self doubt, while it seems plentiful, is also full of information and experiences that allow us to disband from these false realities and learn more that we are then able to take with us into the new reality. So simultaneously, we are having ahas while we are confused, but working through that confusion breaks on through into and out of delusion, out of illusion, and creates a new dimensional frequency in which we can attach ourselves to from one perspective. I'm seeing it's like a spider on one spider web, and then it shoots out its web and jumps to another spider web. And now I'm being shown piezo electricity, and I'm being shown when spiders, like there's a time in like Australia where a bunch of spiders just like catch a wave in the air, and then they just fly through the air off of their silk, and it launches them. They use it like a parachute, and the weather, the winds and the electricity is what carries them to a new place, where they then create their new reality, essentially. You are those spiders, you tiny tiny weavers of light, yet the light that you weave is much larger than the light that you see, for you are beyond that which you see. And there is much beyond what you see with these eyes on. I'm hearing a lot at the same time. So I'm hearing what we see with our physical eyes, we see a lot more with our inner eyes, and even beyond that, because I'm seeing like see through the lies, because we're being told these things and it's causing us to not look in the right direction. We're like looking over here going, what are they talking about? They say that it's this way, but it's actually this way. And but while we're doing that, it's a distraction when we could be looking towards what our own what our what our new reality is. And by the way, the word hope has been coming up a lot in my. I'm like, why do I keep getting this word? I did a video the other day talking about Austin Hope wine, which I'm not promoting Austin Hope. I don't have any promotion for that, and I'm not promoting wine. But the guides are using a lot of references to wineries, vines, grapes, and it just was a synchronistic thing around hope. And the irony is, I synchronistically pulled up my screen while I was channeling the other day, and it had a grapevine on my computer screen, or a winery with grapevines. And I had just been talking about wine grapes. And no, it wasn't an AI bot on this particular computer, because my computer's like a dinosaur. But it was then today, this other landscape came up, and it was beautiful, like stone kind of place. And I pulled up and I clicked on it and I said, well, what is this? And it was, I should have saved it, Hope, England. And I'm like, huh. Or it's a place called something Hope, and it's located in England. So, unless this is literal and there's something that's going to happen in England and there's something that's going to happen in Austin, I wouldn't necessarily go that literal. I try not to predict things based off of those synchronicities because they're not always accurate, but who knows? Hopefully, those things that are lining up are actually either going to give us hope or they're good things. But, anyways, those are my synchronicities. But I thought I would play with it. And when I pull up the etymology of hope, oops. So I think a lot of us, I myself included, tend to relate hope with like love, hope, trust, those. And hope tends to be oftentimes intertwined with faith. So I'm going to bring this from a very neutral standpoint. And the guides are like, hope is confidence in the future and trust. And it's funny because I have this rock that's always sitting by my, is this mirrored? Yeah, it's mirrored, but it's trust, because one of the things when I first started doing intuitive work is not trusting my intuition. And sometimes I still go, I don't know if that's real or not, but I've had to like kind of be in that space of just letting go and trusting in what I'm seeing and recognizing that it does have meaning. I may not understand it now, but later down the road, it might make more sense. And I might go, oh, okay, that's what the guides were trying to show me. But I just have to trust that the guides are showing me something that's relevant for my own growth or for someone else or whoever I'm working with. So I'm just going to read that again. The English word hope comes from confidence in the future and trust. Now, I know that we're in a weird place because a lot of people don't have confidence in the future. Part of the reason we don't have confidence in the future is because of what the guides were just saying a minute ago. We're being lied to, and we're being told to look over here and believe that. And when we do that, we're not focusing on creating a future that we can trust because we're recognizing how much we can't trust the authorities that are telling us things that we should be able to trust. So it comes into this new state of just saying, all right, we need to have hope. Recognize we are the vines of the future that are producing the grapes, that are producing the wine, that over time is going to hit that. I'm just the fine wine that ages well. And it's basically like recognizing. And so I'm going to go into this a little bit more detail because the guys are like, this is important. You all right, buddy? Um, Confidence in the future, the expectation of something desired, wishful desire. We're going to come back to that in just a moment. Sorry, I just lost it. We're going to play with this a little bit. So, what I'm seeing is the expectation of something basically good happening. And so, one of the things that the guides have shared in the past is for us to let go of expectations. But the irony about that is also to have expectations. So to expect good things. So rather than expecting somebody else to come in and save us or to fix everything, we're being invited to step up and have higher expectations of ourselves as humans, to start putting our trust in ourselves, trust in our future, because we are the ones creating it, not the other way around, even though it feels the other way around. And so that takes practice, being able to feel, okay, I have confidence in myself. Therefore, I have confidence in my future. And if more of us did that, we're then projecting that energy into the future that builds trust in ourselves as humans, and not worried that people are going to lose their heads when, and this comes also goes back to emotional responsibility, not worried that people are going to overreact because they haven't taken the time to balance out their energy and to learn to use their intuition and to communicate from a responsible and mature, in a responsible and mature way. And the Hebrew word for hope comes from, I don't know, kavah, meaning to wait, to bind, or to gather. Oh, that's interesting. The root can also refer to a cord or a rope. as a metaphor, as hope, as a string to hold on to during difficult times. Now I see why they were sharing this with me, because they were sharing with me the light where you pull a light bulb, like turn it on, turn it off. And that's our string connected to source frequency, and it's always connected. We're the ones who think that it's not connected and that somebody else is pulling our strings. So this has to do with also, again, to bind together an expectation. So gather. And I love it because it also relates to pooling or gathering of waters. Now in Hebrew, it's used for concept of creation itself and for God gathering his people. Now, again, I'm not making this a religious thing. It's about us coming together. That's what hope is really representing. And expecting us in a positive way, because they're kind of playing with that too, the expectation. They're saying it literally means to look out for. So the irony is it's look out for one another, look out for ourselves, but also look out ahead beyond what we're feeling as if we're plugged into, and we create that bind. We create this the string that draws us. You know, when you're I'm being shown going up a snowy mountain, and everybody's connected to a rope so that they don't slide back down the mountain. It's a little bit like what they're trying to show me. That's they're calling it the hope rope. Anyways, I'm going to end on this note. We invite you to come back into the stillness and the majority. I'm being called to put with that. I'll keep playing with this, but I'm seeing the more than half of a total number or amount. So there's a play on words with this, I think. Granted, it's played with other things like voting and things like that, but it's more, we'll play with that a little bit more. We invite you to come back into more than less. For the more of you, even if it's just one more, creates a, I'm hearing swing effect, meaning it allows us to swing into the next dimension. I'm hearing George of the Jungle. Look out for that tree. Like it allows us to smoothly, just that one extra person helps us get on this higher timeline, this higher trajectory, this higher. I'm hearing the word vote. This is nothing to, well, I mean, it could be a double meaning having to do with politics too, and we're not voting right now. But it's like that one extra person creates this majority, that all it takes is us having hope. And hope is the rope that draws us together and having a better expectation of our future, because we know, like, oh, okay, now we're working together. I'm not by myself. We're the majority. It's not just one person, it's so many people that are coming together that create the majority, not the linear few, is what I'm hearing. So we think that we don't have any power, but we do. We are the ones that are creating the engine, the little engine that could, right? The engine, the turbine that is essentially fueling everything. So we invite you to be your own resource, your own light source. And yet, as you do this, you tune into your other uh, collaborations and other resources of other lights, of other light workers, of other beings who are here to light the way, who are here to help you light your path and you theirs. For as you take charge, is the majority, as you take charge and feel the charge that moves through the body, that moves through the body of we, the body of the collective energy of humanity, the more of us that hold on to that and create a center of intelligence. This is a play on words. We begin to isolate the frequencies, the radio signals, that which has been trying to bind us to that. And we turn the dial down and instead focus I'm hearing in steadfastness to the energy that is burning through the old platforms. And from that, we springboard off of those platforms into the new reality. Scepter, plan words. We give ourselves the advantage by being in our heart center, connecting to the source of our frequency, which is beyond the mind, yet it is and can be felt and found through the mind in the form of non-form or in the form of mindfulness that gives us more information or gives us more to bring into our form to understand better how to form our new reality and perspective that we need to hold in order to hold or bind to this particular reality that is really a fluid and fluidity or fluid place to be. It is not the same binding principles that we have cohesively connected into before. For the elements have changed. We do not have the same cohesion or cohesiveness in order to attach to a particular dimensional existence that is void of some of the important alignments that are required to bring us into more important alignments that give us the advantage, that give us the higher range of abilities, perspectives, perception, so on and so forth. And so we end on this note. Our realm is bigger than we have been told. Our realm is bigger than we think it is, and our realm is just that. It is ours to command. It is not a matter of controlling or feeling as if we have to persecute another. That's a play on words I'm being shown. Persecute. It is not through control that we are the masters of our realm. It is being in charge and feeling the charge from the inside that allows us to be that. I'm hearing the inside man or woman or being. Like we're the insiders. And so from that, we are then creating what then is reflected to us in our reality. For we must combine resources in order to have the biggest effectability, plan words, to be more effectively contributing to the greater picture. That's a play on words. Like you can't just have, like, if it's this huge project and you have one person painting in a little corner, it's never going to get completed. But if we all come together and add to it and go, oh, we could add this over here, and oh yeah, here's, you don't have that color, I have it. It's like this it's teamwork basically. And so getting back to the realm, you are the masters of this realm. And the more you begin to master your own human capabilities and ability to communicate, respond, excel, expand, learn, adapt, and find joy in this expansion, the faster and better from one perspective this expansion will stick. It will not be such a yo-yo. It will not feel as if it is such a polarity. It will begin to feel like less of a divide, and the ups and downs will not be felt in such a huge stride. We will take them with stride, and we will feel full of pride, but not from an egoic sense, a sense of accomplishment. a sense of coming together, a sense of satisfaction from the center, and that which is unified within the network of humanity, the heart frequency of brotherly love. And this is all a play on words. Anyways, I'm going to end on that note. I'm hearing above, below, within. And then I'm hearing there is no above. We're there already. So feel into that from a place of love, and it'll bring it through us as light, as expression, as colorful contributions to a more vivid and diverse, like I'm hearing butterfly, but like oh look, a butterfly, like that's a new butterfly. I've never seen that butterfly before because it didn't exist before, because now we're in a whole new reality. So it's very, things could get wonky is what I'm being shown. Like, get ready, things could get a little weirder. All right, I'm going to end on that note. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Namaste, in love and light.